We are going to do the hindrances. So shall I invite Asma Kumara to lead you in your chanting? Page 56, Nīvaraṇa pabba.
Karancha bhikkave bhikkhu dhammesu dhammānupassi viharati. Ida bhikkave bhikkhu Dhammesu dhammānupassi viharati. Panchasu nīvaraṇesu Katanchapana bhikkave bhikkhu Dhammesu dhammānupassi viharati. Panchasu nīvaraṇesu Ita bhikkave bhikkhu Sandang va achattam kāmachandam Attime achattam kāmachando dipajanati. Asandang va achattam kāmachandam Nattime achattam kāmachando dipajanati. Yatha ca anupannassa kāmachandassa uppādo hoti. Tanca pajanati. Yatha ca uppannassa kāmachandassa pahānaṁ hoti. Tanca pajanati. Yatha ca pahīnassa kāmachandassa āyatiṁ anuppādo hoti. Tanca pajanati. Santang va achattam vyapadam Attime achattam vyapado dipajanati. Santang va achattam tīna mittam Attime achattam tīna mittam dipajanati. Santang va achattam udacca kukkuccam Attime achattam udacca kukkuccam dipajanati. Santang va achattam vijikiccham Attime achattam vijikiccha dipajanati. Asandang va achattam vijikiccham Nattime achattam vijikiccha dipajanati. Yatha ca anupannāya vijikicchāya uppādo hoti. Tanca pajanati. Yatha ca uppannāya vijikicchāya pahānaṁ hoti. Tanca pajanati. Yatha ca pahīnāya vijikicchāya āyatiṁ anuppādo hoti. Tanca pajanati. Iti achattam va dhammesu dhammānupassi viharati. Paitava Dhammesu Dhammānupassi viharati. Accatta Bahittava Dhammesu Dhammānupassi viharati. Samudaya Dhammānupassīva Dhammesu viharati. Vaya Dhammānupassīva Dhammesu viharati. Samudaya vaya Dhammānupassīva Dhammesu viharati. Atti Dhammādiva panassa Satipaṭṭhāna hoti. Yavadeva jnānamattāya patissatimattāya anissito ca viharati. Naca kinci loke upadiyati. Evam bhikkho bhikkhave bhikkhu dhammesu dhammānupassi viharati. Panchasu nīvaraṇesu nīvaraṇa pabbang nitthitāṃ.
Okay, sadhu. And you turn to page 57 and look at note 10, the special significance of Dhammānupassanā. Sometimes Dhammānupassanā is translated as contemplation of phenomena. Sometimes it's translated as contemplation of mental objects. And sometimes it's just left untranslated, like what I've done here. That is because of the many implications of the word Dhamma. It's not just mental objects, it's not just phenomena, it's more than just that. Which means to say that it's a mental object. Maybe it covers mental objects, it covers phenomena, but something is missing. Okay, what is it? There are 4 points here, which I paraphrased from Asma Analayo's book on the Satipaṭṭhāna. First, there is contemplation of phenomena, because all the things that are the subject of contemplation here are various sort of natural phenomena. But these phenomena are classified according to the Buddha's teaching, which is also Dhamma. And why do you do that? Why do you want to contemplate in this way? In order to understand the principles of conditionality, which is also Dhamma. Right? So the word Dhamma actually has such a wide variety of meanings that it can apply to almost anything. So you have to look very carefully at the context in which it is used. It's very much like the English word thing, T-H-I-N-G. So we are here contemplating things which are natural phenomena and things which have been classified according to the Buddha's teachings in order to understand the thing of conditionality. Okay? And in the end, if you contemplate the Dhamma in this way, then you will arrive at the final goal, which means realization of the highest Dhamma, which is Nibbana. Right? So there are many implications in the usage of the word Dhamma. Now let's look at the 5 hindrances, and the structure of this whole Dhammānupassanā section is quite different from that of the earlier sections. In the earlier sections, in the text proper, nothing is mentioned about looking at the causes and conditions. Although this is found in the refrain, in Dhammānupassanā, these are all incorporated into the main text. Right? Not only do you identify the Dhamma, the phenomena, but you deliberately look at the causes and conditions for its arising and its abandoning, and how to prevent it from arising again in the future. This begs the question, if this is already found in the main text, why do we still need the refrain? Right? Because refrain becomes redundant, isn't it? Refrain asks you to look at the nature of arising and vanishing when it's already covered in the main text. Yeah, so this is also another question that you should put in at the back of your mind. And also the starting of Dhammānupassanā section is very different from the others. Yeah, if you look at the starting, he says, and how monks does the monk dwell contemplating dhammas in dhammas? And instead of going straight to the hindrances, it comes off with an additional line. Here a monk dwells contemplating dhammas in terms of the 5 hindrances, and so forth. If you compare with Kāyānupassanā, page 16, yeah, Katanca bhikkhave bhikkhu kāye kāyānupassī viharati, yeah, then it goes on straight to ida bhikkhave bhikkhu aranya gato va, and so forth. And how monks does the monk dwell contemplating the body in the body? Here the monk goes to the forest, etc., etc. He sits down, establish mindfulness before him. All right? And then you look at the next exercise on postures, page 22. He starts off by saying, again monks, a monk when walking knows I'm walking. And then the next session he says, again monks, But this, the structure in Dhammānupassanā is very different. Why is the structure not the same? Why not go straight to the hindrances, and then in the next section, it's asking the question again. If you look at page 62, how monks does the monk dwell contemplating dhammas in terms of the 5 aggregates subject to clinging? Right? So this is one of the things that the modern scholars have pointed out. There's some inconsistency in the structure of the way this sutta is phrased. Okay, now let's talk about the hindrances. Now you will also see here that the I is still there. There is sensual desire in me, right? The I is still there, and it is not. I think I pointed this out the other day. It is not impersonal in nature. There's still the sense of I given in the instructions in observing the hindrances, and also in other exercises in Dhammānupassanā. Now let's explain more about the hindrances. The first one is called sensual desire. What is sensual desire? Sensual desire is whatever desire that one has for pleasures that can arise out of the 5 senses. What you see, hear, smell, taste, and feel with the body. In the course of a meditation, this is very obvious, because when you come for meditation, you have temporarily put aside all your worldly pleasures. You come to a meditation center, and you have to sleep in a room, together with other people, dormitory, and then people are snoring away, and then the place is so warm. So, all these things can also give rise to sensual desire, in the course of a meditation. Maybe you are meditating and then you're not so fresh after an interrupted sleep at night. Yeah, then the mind will start to think, oh, why did I come? Why didn't I stay back home? I could have meditated better back home, aircon, nobody's disturbing me. And here, people are snoring next to me, and then going up the double-decker bed and creaking away. How to sleep? So, a lot of these hindrances can arise. So whatever desire you have for sensual comfort, that is a hindrance. All right? That's the first one. And then the second is about ill will. Then you will feel upset. Why is that person so inconsiderate? He should have, closed the door more softly. When you want to move out of the bed, should not creak so much. But stop beyond his control, actually. So, all these things are happening in your mind. Any sort of ill will or displeasure in your mind regarding what is happening right now, or even about past incidents, that could crop up in your mind. And this happens very frequently in the course of meditation. When your mind settles down, then the obsessive thoughts, your unsettled problems will arise in you. And then if you are averse to them, it's still a lot of ill will in your mind, then this will be a cause for obstruction in the progress of a meditation. And then the third one is on the tinamidda, which is drowsiness, an obvious obstruction. If you cannot sit properly with a very alert mind, then you don't call that meditation. So there are many causes for tinamidda, for drowsiness, especially when you come for a retreat. That's because you have a certain change of your lifestyle, certain change of an environment, and so all these things can arise. Then uddaca kukucca, which is restlessness and remorse. Restlessness could mean your mind refuses to just settle down. It just gets very easily distracted by current or present sensory perception, or even random thoughts. Just come and go, refusing to settle down. But if you are doing vipassana, it's okay. Random thoughts that come and go are not as bad as obsessive thoughts. Because they come and go, and all you need to do is to sit back and look at them coming and going, which is also a manifestation of impermanence. Right? Why must you be so selective? You want to see only the rising and falling of the abdomen, or you want to see only the rising and falling of your breath, but you don't want to see the rising and falling of your thoughts. When you have such a preference, that's where your suffering comes in. I want to calm the mind. Meditation is supposed to be calmness, tranquility, peace, no thinking. All these thoughts, why they come and disturb me? So when you have such an aversion, you are actually feeding all those restless thoughts, and they will become even more. If you are just able to accept them, first of all, you accept them theoretically. All thoughts are just thoughts. They are just nature. It's part of the mind. It's a job of the mind to think, and it's due to causes and conditions which are currently beyond my control. So all I need to do is to step back and look at them come and go. So if you are able to have that sort of right attitude, then restlessness does not pose a problem to you. And very soon your mind will settle down, because you are able to accept them instead of fighting them. The other one is kukucca, which is quite different from restlessness. Kukucca is remorse. I feel that remorse actually is a good thing, because it tells you that you have done something wrong. Right? You acknowledge that you have done something wrong. But then right and wrong is also relative. If you have the wrong perception of how things should be, and then you have remorse, that could also be unfounded. So assuming that you have right perception, assuming that your values are correct, and you have remorse, is a good thing. Because number one, you acknowledge that you have done something wrong. Secondly, you should try to redeem yourself, redress the mistake. Right? The second R. And the third R is to resolve that such a thing will not happen again in future. And the fourth R is to refrain. Next time when such similar circumstances present themselves to you, then you have to refrain yourself, remind yourself, oh, that had happened in the past, that was the past experience, and I suffered so much due to remorse, now I'm not going to make it happen again. Right? So remorse is good, in the sense that it tells you that you have done something wrong. Secondly, you should try to redeem yourself. If you have wronged somebody, you should try to personally apologize. If you got too much conceit and too much pride, you can't do it, try to do it mentally. At least something better than nothing. Some people, they do it in front of the Buddha. Also, as long as it works for you, it helps to, alleviate your suffering. And then you in many ways, you can think of how to redeem yourself. And then thirdly is to resolve yourself next time won't do again. And then finally is to restrain yourself when the situation, similar conditions and circumstances present themselves. Next one is on doubts. Yeah, doubts are plenty. When you meditate, there's always doubt about yourself. Maybe I haven't got enough parami. Maybe I should stop meditating and do more merits. Yeah. Maybe my teacher is not a good teacher. Maybe the method doesn't suit me. Maybe I should do more shopping, go around and try other methods. And maybe this meditation center is not too good for me, and so forth. A lot of things will come in your mind when you don't do well in a meditation. Yeah. So these are all the doubts that can plague you. And worst of all is when you are meditating and then you encounter some difficulties. How to proceed from here? Should I encourage this mental state or should I not? Like yesterday, one sister, Sister Buddhini, was asking, she was doing Anapana, and then when I asked her to switch to something else, she felt that, there was this attachment to want to maintain the peace and calmness of Anapana and not change the object. So what should we do? Should I maintain it? Shall I change? So when you are plagued with such doubts in the course of a practice, then it's very paralyzing. You can't go anywhere, right? You don't know what to do. But do this, or do that. So that's why in the Burmese tradition, we have this routine of having daily interviews. If there are too many yogis, then maybe every alternate day or every once in 2 days, just to give you a chance to clear your doubts. But in the Thai forest tradition, they don't pamper you. Yeah, you take your meditation subject from your teacher, and then you go off to the forest to meditate, away from your teacher, maybe for about 1 or 2 months. And in the course of a practice, if you have problems, you don't go running to your teacher yet. You try to solve it yourself first. Yeah, watch your own doubts, watch your own your problems and obstacles, and try to figure out how to do it. And finally, after 2 or 3 months, and you feel that it's not really within your ability to do so, then you can go and see the teacher. Yeah, so it's also very good, particularly if you are a renunciant and you have a lot of time. But I'm sure many of you cannot afford that time, isn't it? So, and especially nowadays, people want things fast. So then you have to, look for a meditation technique that gives you the chance to clear your doubts every now and then. I think this should be clear enough.